The perfect husband facade cracks. Or maybe always was a facade. What a shock. Behind this steely-eyed climbing machine persona lies a tormented husband and father, struggling to juggle life as a family man, DIY projects, and a cycling contract with one of the biggest teams in history. Who would have guessed? Let's start with what is on record. His wife, Trine Hansen, has recently made waves by publicly criticising his team, Team Visma Leasebike, for allegedly, quote, pushing him too far. In an interview with Politiken, she said, quote, knowing Jonas as I do, I'd say the team is pushing him too far now. I'm afraid he's burning the candle at both ends. Quote, Jonas doesn't recharge when he's on another 3-week altitude camp with the team. He would prefer to be with us at home in Denmark to do that. So no, it's not just me spinning a dramatic headline, there is documented tension. But does that prove that the family wants him home? He's contract bound, narrative. Not entirely, but let's dig deeper. Trine has also pointed out how the constant travel takes a toll. Quote, it starts in February and it's back and forth every other week. It's a really tough life. The kids and I are home for 10 days, then we're away for 10 days, then we're home for a week and away for 14 days, and so on. Quote, Jonas doesn't recharge when he's on another 3-week altitude training camp. He really needs to be with us at home in Denmark to do that. So yes, there is tension and it's public. But the version is it's just pretty obvious. Trine wants him to quit pro cycling in my opinion, so he can be a full-time dad and handyman, doing all the DIY at home. Conclusion, the cracks are real, the frustration is real, and Trine is pushing back. But the quit cycling for good angle isn't exactly 100% proven yet. The he's never home, there's so much DIY to do trope, with some truth but a bit of exaggeration. Now let's examine that juicy bit. There's a lot of DIY at home, he's never here to help. Trine resents the absence. Is that true? Partially true, or mostly fiction? From reports and interviews in the Fashion Core article, Trine says that while renovating their house, Jonas wanted to be hands-on, tearing out a kitchen, laying wooden floors. The team allegedly didn't like it. She framed it as a matter of equality. Quote, if others could do it, then sure we could too. When we finished a house, we were ecstatic that we could do something like that. A Reddit discussion quoted her says, quote, if we don't have kids, there's so much travel back and forth. Jonas is only home in Denmark for 10 days. Quote, he needs more calm. He's burning the candle at both ends. People sometimes forget the whole person. It could backfire. So yes, the DIY angle isn't totally made up. There is evidence that she's brought up projects at home, her desire for him to participate, and her frustration with the team's rigidity about non-racing activities. But the exaggeration that she wants him to stop being a professional cyclist so he can come home and be a father and handyman, that stronger version is not backed by 100% things I can find. She's raising concerns and not issuing ultimatums. So basically, she knows she can't boss Jonas around and tell him what to do because he's the one that makes all the money and he's still the boss in the family, even if she also takes massive responsibility and contributes tons. Still, there is a public aura of tension between his relentless schedule, the needs of home life, his kids, wife, house, her vocally questioning whether the balance is fair, and even her falling out with Team Visma as a whole. Also, experts and journalists are treating her remarks have commented that she's drawing attention to a broader problem, athlete burnout and the cost of hyper-intense schedules. Thus, the quote, he's never home, there's a house full of pending work narrative has roots in some reported comments, though the more extreme version is less supported. He's made enough money, family wants him home, but contract ties him down. Speculation meets reality. This is the trickiest section. The idea that he's already made enough or that the family want him home is plausible, but the notion that his team contract forces him to continue against his soul, that's mostly interference. So let's break it down. Has he made enough? Well, he's a two-time Tour de France winner, 2022-2023, with a growing palmarès, recent Vuelta victory. On balance, yes, he's financially and status-wise among elite cyclists, but enough is subjective, especially for someone whose identity and career are deeply tied to racing, and if he's potentially just bought a massive house with a huge mortgage. I didn't find any direct information from him or Trine saying, "We have enough money, I want him home now," but it was something I found on the internet. So do family want him home? Trine's remarks strongly suggest that she wants him home. More presence, more rest, more balance. That part is credible. As quoted above, she talks of missing life at home, kids and travel, quote, not recharging on camps. However, whether the whole family, universally, say we want him home now, is an inference, not a documented fact in the sources I saw. Contractual constraints and inability to pull out prematurely. This is the most speculative bit. I found no evidence in press coverage that he is contractually barred from pulling out early, or that Visma is refusing to release him, regardless of potential personal pressure. If such a story existed, it would likely attract strong media attention, but in my opinion, as we've seen with Ayuso and Tom Pidcock leaving their teams recently, a lot of this arguing and wanting to leave goes on hidden away from the public and under the table. I did see that his team defended themselves vigorously after Trine's comments about them, insisting that their strategy is discussed exclusively. For example, after Trine's public criticism of the team's goals, aka accusing Visma of making stage wins for others at the expense of concentrating on Jonas, Jonas responded, quote, "It has been taken out of context. The media made a story out of nothing." Quote, "I know Trine supports me 100%. I don't read the media while I'm racing." The team likewise pushed back, saying strategy was, quote, "discussed with him and her." So the narrative from their side is there's no secret binding him unwillingly, rather he and his family are looped in. Yeah, smart word there. Nevertheless, it's possible that cycling contracts, sponsorship obligations, obligations to sponsors and contractual race appearances make it harder to just stop. But again, that's speculation beyond the documented sources that I found. Are they really going to put him in a prison if he drops out? So the, quote, contract prison version is dramatic, but I can't seem to find out what would happen. Perhaps they would just take away some money from him, or inject some clause that he has to pay a fine for early departure of a contract. Who knows? Trine confronts Team Visma, drama, blowback, and the optics. This section is where the existing public tension really bloomed into headlines, with Trine stepping into the light and making waves, because yes, she has done exactly that, and Visma and Jonas have responded. Trine speaks out more than quietly in the living room. In the cycling news article, quote, "A story out of nothing," we see that Trine gave an interview to Politican in which she questions the team's priorities. She appeared to question the Dutch squad's tour planning, saying that, quote, "the team was pushing Jonas too far, and, quote, if you focus on stage wins for others, you're not fully focused on Jonas." That interview ignited a media back and forth. Her remarks were framed in many outlets as controversial, because yes, women publicly critiquing a top athlete's team is still treated as provocative. The team's DS and management responded vigorously. Grishka Nurman, team director sportif, said comments were, quote, "taken out of proportion," and maintained that the team's plans were discussed with Jonas and Trine beforehand. So why do you think this is actually happening? My opinion, Jonas is hiding something. Trine already wants him to retire, and they've made enough money, so they actually don't want to keep riding. but Jonas feels pressured. Maybe there is some early cancellation clause or fine or penalty for dropping out of the contract too soon. If you know anything, please comment down below to educate all of us on this information. Leave a like on the video for good luck and subscribe if this is your first time here, as I upload every day.